using effects in a good way, we can make a good photo manipulation. And also main points to keep in mind to take the shots to make a good photo manipulation. So, Paul is going to explain to you the technique part, and then I will show you. I don't know if with
the short technique part. Sorry.
I will show you an example of how I work with Photoshop. If you have any kind of question in each step, please ask. Don't be afraid. We do bite. So let's go start.
Okay, thank you so much for being here at the hour of after lunch, because for Spanish this is the hour of siesta. So important. Well, first step. Photography is it's a language, okay, between mostly times two persons, the photographer and the model. Both have ideas and things to say to the other. Okay, so I think the most important thing in photography is the communication between the photographer and the model. And every moment, a photographer can say everything to the model, and the model can say what the ideas have for the work. Okay, it's very, very important before go to a photo shoot. Make a clear idea of what the result we want. So it's not only background effects, like reference are very important. Okay, because models, okay, cosplayers usually know their character, the character they are wearing, but no, photographers like me always not know all the characters existing in all anime and role-playing games and comics and cinema and video games. Okay, and when cosplayers say me, oh, I want to make a cosplay photo shoot about, I don't know, something I don't know, love life. Okay, I don't know what is love life. I think it's about something Japanese and with girls, but I try to inform and research and look for reference, poses and screens and story for being and do my part. Okay. Set reading is at the moment, at the moment of the photo shoot in a study, well, the photographer must be all construct and build and ready all the background and light and focus and the space, and cosplayer must care of their staffs. Okay? There are some cosplayers that say in middle of a photo shoot, can you paint me the makeup, because I was so lazy and the character has some marks in that. Oh, it's your work. So photographer has its work and the cosplayer has a work. So set reading is for both. Okay. And in complement to the third point is be patient. Both repeat and choose. Because photography is not exactly art, of course, and normally we don't know how can rule and work an idea behind the camera. So could be difficult and could be repeat a shoot several times. and to talk with the model, and the model said to the photographer what ideas of how to change the results. Okay. The set. Okay. The second part of the talk it's about photo manipulation. So, Flor was will be the starring, and I see difference in the manipulation. Complete manipulation means a manipulation with background, and implement the figure with the artificial background and the lights and the shadows, the highlights, the mediums, the grays, all. Okay, the retouch we can do, and a half could be the retouch, the simple retouch, the basic is a simple background from a study or outside, okay, and only lights, curves, for example, Photoshop or Lightroom. The set outside could be with or without flash. The flash is needed when the light, when we have a poor light, of course, and when we want to change the kind of light. For example, I don't know if we have some una fotografía con. Well, in a photo shoot in the beach, okay, the light in the beach, like in snow, is very difficult to control, okay, because light reflects in the water and salt or in the snow. So flashes can obscure the light, can obscure other lights and change the form of the light. We can change midday light into a morning light, for example. Without flash, it's about tricks. So tricks about choose the soft light, so not direct sunlight, shadows not so hard, and something more that kind. The background is important in an outside, because we usually don't have photo manipulation with photos made outside. So we can choose for a character of a science fiction, a wall or building, but not nature, for example. And look the best angle. Yeah. Outside, while we're playing with lights, the natural light, mostly. The angle is important because natural light illuminate the figure in different form. You can see I'm very fan.
Can I take a play?
Yep.
Can you see those pictures?
Okay, can you identify the figures? Well, can you tell me which one is made in a studio and which one outside?
The green
One is made in the convention.
Green is in the studio.
The green is outside.
I think that's outside.
What?
Which one? The green one? Outside or inside?
Green one is
Inside.
outside.
Outside.
No, we cannot.
If I can. Sofer, is your how many people think green is outside? How many people think it's inside?
How many people said green one is make outside. And the World of Warcraft one, outside or inside? Who thinks inside? So exactly opposite.
Yeah.
It was made in
our studio.
our living room.
Yeah.
And this one, it's made in the middle of a convention.
Yeah, outside the convention with a gray wall, with.
In here, it's a complete photo manipulation. We changed all the background. So it really was a clothes in a fabric in the floor, and then we get the flashes as we wanted. One green above to make the effect of the light, and one on the corner to illuminate the figure. For this one in a convention, we look for a shadow place to get very neutral lights, and then we use a stone floor to get the texture of the grass and all the leaves on the floor from the original texture. So we only have to change from here to above. That's a half manipulation. This is a complete manipulation. So thank you for playing.
You're very good. You fooled most of us. Nice.
So I did well my job.
Well, so the third point is clear. Well, the ideas. Normally, we spend a little time in the ideas of a photo shoot. The ideas is not a reference, I said before. It's a reference in the of the anime or comic book or cinema. Okay, so ideas are the setting, the ambience, warmness, genre. So what we want with the photos. We need a very warm ambience. I want a set very futuristic or more fantasy or nature or exact with the Tower of the Avengers. Okay? All this is important to talk between the model and the photographer, because later the edition is difficult and have a lot of hours for to take material and reference and all the elements we need. Props and complements. As I said before, a photographer can't can put with photo manipulation a sniper or a sword, or so props. If a character wear a prop, model cosplayer must take and wear the prop to the set.
Yes, you have to keep in mind how you want that prop, like accessory, appears. I mean, maybe, for example, a girl asked me for a photo of Wonder Woman with a shield, with her shield very big on the back, so making like very Art Deco photo. But the shield was in this size, so how we can make this shield make bigger on her size? So doesn't matter if you can add it after in photo manipulation, but you have to have it there to make almost a one stock photo to make it bigger after when you are retouching, and not putting it in the original photo you are using for the photo manipulation. I mean, you have to get two photos, one only with the shield and another of the model, and then combine them. So maybe you don't have to have the prop or the accessory, but you have very clear idea how you want it to appear. And of course, the most details, the most accessories, you have to keep in mind when and where you want it on the shots.
Another point is the number of models. Mostly times the photo shoots to cosplayers are about one figure, one cosplayer, but in could be groups or teams or couples, and are difficult compositions because different persons in a photo make different size and distances. Okay, so you must probe the size between and think about the composition, the different planes. Okay, first plane, second plane, third plane. And there are more complex composition. For example, upstairs. Okay, counterpoint upstairs, or from the floor, make higher to the figure. And well, there are different kind of poses. Normally, the most used poses are fashion poses. Fashion. Can you probe the different poses?
It's not the best costume to show.
No.
But well.
Fashion pose is more than fashion magazines. Okay, so our entire figure with a line of the body, putting some dynamic movement with a diagonal line. Okay.
Maybe, for example, you want only showing the cosplay. You don't have to make an action because some parts of your body can cover parts of them. It happens, for example, if I'm with the weave on, I will get it and I will cover all my chest, so my shoulders can be on the shot. Maybe this part, maybe all the details here, or part of the braid in this. So fashion poses is fashion poses. So the girl that wears the dress doesn't matter. We only want to show the dress, and that's what we have to make also with the cosplay. So we get a comfortable pose, like open the legs and then with the hip on one side, play with the hands to make all the composition, to make an S with the body, for example, to make it more dynamic. Or if you are playing with hair and you are playing with fringe or something, use the hands to make it, to open it and make it bigger. So you have all a reading of the whole part upper of the body. Well, so you can use.
Yeah, the difference is
many times. It depends, of course, of the cosplay. You can make it, for example, something like this with an armor. It's stupid. So, but it's the main idea is fashion poses that everybody knows that because they are the most shareable photos on Instagram, Facebook. Is, oh, what an amazing costume, yes, but the model maybe she's making a photo of Electra the assassin, and she has to look very aggressive on that, but maybe the model is only, it's okay, but that's not Electra, she's only showing the costume. It's okay, it's nice, we can see that, but it's not Electra. We have to use another kind of pose to make the character alive. It's okay to show, but not to tell.
So, well, I was going to explain the difference between fashion poses and action poses, but Flor is yeah, it's in front of me always. Well, the difference, for example, that is it's coming in the last Street Fighter design, redesign of the character, and the right image is of it's a fashion pose, of course, and the left image is an action pose, because one is only showing the costume and the makeup and the body, and the other is an action pose and an exaggerated pose because it's a point of view from down of a future kick, a future kick, and with an aberration plane. It's a plane with in diagonal. Okay, so the difference is very clear, and the other points are more than that one figure, as I said before. And saying something you want to show another action pose.
No, for action
you
poses.
want your weapon?
No, but for example, for action poses like flying, you know, the typical, everybody saw the awful Green Lantern movie. Green Lantern, when it is flying, is normally a leg extended, like making a jump, and the leg in 45 degrees. And if you, it's the basic flying, when you make a shot in front, the basic flying position. You have to force it, but the action poses doesn't have to be very exaggerated to be very useful. Or for example, when you are trying to make a punch for someone, you don't make the photo in the middle of the action. You have to make it at the first part of the action or in the last one. It depends the angle you are taking. But in the center, it's static. If you are taking one during the action, it looks like you are not making anything. It's only a stupid pose.
It's a theory about comic books. Comic books say that the best moments of a plane, of a panel, are the first and the last. And all the line, all the timeline is from the best in the crescendo. When punch is if you show a plane, a photo or a picture with this is a little impact, okay? But
if you cross,
yeah, beginning and impact is in crescendo, and you have all the action terminated, okay, finished, but with all the story.
and also the exaggerated poses are also very useful when you're trying to make an effect with the public. For example, if the character has a fight or something, and you want to make one shot from with the point of view of somebody that gets kicked by them. Maybe the photographer has to be in the floor, and you want to make that normal pose of having the foot above the camera. So the model can be in a normal pose like this if you are trying to step someone. The model also has to be in an arc and try to compose for the camera that is down. It's exaggerated and it's a very few moments, so try many times you want, because it only can go well if you try it many times. And let's gonna start with the photo manipulation. We have to keep on mind 4 points. The light, as we said, we want to know where and when you want this light. For example, it's not the same having a blue light in front than on the back. On the back, maybe it's for a special effect. For example, if we want energy blast on the hand and only cover this part of the arm to get the effect, we have the flash on the back. If we want to make a night ascent, for example, we need it in front, or where we can, if from one side, from the front, on the back. That comes only with the idea. When you have the clear idea, you know where you put. The color, what we said about the environment and the moment we want to show in the photo, environment, there are a few tips to make a photo manipulation very real. And most of them are create artificial environment that help us to believe in that space. And details. Maybe we want a special shine on a sword, on a gun. Maybe we want to make the eyes brighter, or the smoke from a gun. That's little details that also make it better. So let's get started. Oh, how many people here works with Photoshop or know something about Photoshop? Yes, that's okay. Do you know, it's in Spanish, but the order is the same. So do you know how works each kind of layer?
A little.
The first one is the normal and the salt. The second one, where it's darker, multiply, and color burn, for example, it takes away all the whites from the layer. It take off and add it in the layer in different styles. The second one, when it's lighten, screen, and that kind of layers, it takes away the blacks. So all the shadows, all the black part of the image is out. This is a little trick. For example, when you have to cut hairs, when you have a wig or a model and it has that fucking hairs, speaky, and you can cut it in a good way to look clear, and it's very annoying. You can recover all those hairs very easily. But well, let's gonna see how they act. For example, we get the fire. This is a normal photo of stock from Google, and we add it as multiply. La siguiente. Gracias, cariño. As multiply, so we get away all the lights, and only the black parts is added on the shot. If we make it in the other way, la siguiente. In the screen, we get all the lining parts, and we added like a real fire there. Also, we need more effects, but this is a first step, very useful. And then if we get it in light, I don't know how to say in English right now, soft light, we take away the grays. Because in photo manipulation, when you have to work with it, you don't have to use green or blue walls to make it the manipulation. You have to use a gray screen to make it better. You have a neutral color you work with to any kind of photo manipulation you are making it. Here we are working with a black one because it was taken in a moment we were poor and we only have that fabric. But try to work with a gray background to make all kinds of photo manipulation. So this photo was taken in a convention. We found this neutral blue wall, and all the light come from above, so it was very nice for taking shots in the middle of the afternoon. And as the character doesn't get any kind of color from the background, so we can't cut it very easily. So we start cutting it. For this, that is very easy to get, we use the magic wand. If you can, use the magic wand. It's not a foe, you can trust in him. And well, you get it and add the background. This was a very improvised photo shoot. So we have to look for the background with the terms we already have from the photo. For example, we get the light from the diagonal from above, so we have to justify that light in any way. And we find this spaceship inside where we have lights here
and there. That's what we are going to use to create the effect of the environment. After, we also have all the shadow part here that help us to justify the shadow also. Well, when we are looking for something, you can see we don't focus, if we are in one point, we don't focus everything. So we can make the blur effect to fake that real eye effect. Also in the photo manipulation, so we copy this little part, our dimension. One with a feather, yes? Well, with a little blur above the original one and get it in light. So we make it a little blur, very delicate blur that simulates when our eye is not focused in the back part of the shot. Instead, we are focused on the main character and the rest is only a tracer. Justifying the light. So we got a light flare. You can create it also with Photoshop, doesn't matter, but I really like when people do this kind of light flares. Free on Google too. So you can get one of high quality to make it like the Abrams effect for Star Trek, for example. You can add it, put where you want it, and then put it on a screen. Funny? So we create the light from the corner above, using also this little Windows lamp or whatever it is. So we already have the light, also the fake background. And this is a special trick of me. That's my way of working. I add darken effect to get all the texture of the fabrics, the background, and the character. So it's a saturation layer above everything. We put in color and then make it absolutely gray with no saturation, nothing, and put it in multiply. So it darkens all the scene, but now it's our job getting over the texture again. So we take the little brush to lining and start to recover the main figure. Remember, we already have the light here, so doesn't matter because that the basic part of lining, it's done. We recover the face, we recover the chest, we also recover the trousers, and we also have to recover this part of the background. So I think what was my fault? I stepped one of this. No, it was I erased the scene. Sorry. I get a new layer of Y degree that I paint here from here in a diagonal for there, and then put it in soft light to recover this part and the original light we did with the light flare. What I say about environment, for this kind of spaceship or science fiction effects, we can get in the back part smoke, for example. So we can create it with brushes, there are a lot of them. Or we can get stock, if you have at home a black fabric, and you can create smoke with a vapor or something, take some shots, you will have the best stock of your life. If it's not, you have it also in Google, DeviantArt, and it's normally making a credit on them when you post the image, it's enough. You don't have to pay for them. And as we did with the light, we added on screen. And we added in front and back the character. And we try to make it more real, erasing the parts where the character is throwing the smoke.
Cambiaba el canal.
Now we have all the photo manipulation made. It's time to correct the color. The first I do is getting a selective color correction and trying to get again the red of the original photo and trying to make it more aesthetic. In this case, for example, it's a spaceship, it's a cold environment, so we are trying to get light blue, or more darker colors. And remember, it's also a very special trick. I know that not much people use it, but I like it. The shadows and black colors, they are not black, absolutely black. You can give it some color also with the selective correction. And for here, I give it a little point of blue. If you are outside, maybe the black turns a little brown because you are giving it red. Or maybe you can't be a little green if you are in a special or alien environment, for example. You can play with it also, but give it a little of color to the shadows to make you being inside the scene. To focus on the character, we can create also a frame, also with a new gradient field. Not in making a fake circle around it, but it must be before the light, to have it always the light point there that will hit on the face and on the shoulder of the character in this case. But if you put it on also a soft light, we can have the character very well signed, and the frame helps the reading of the photo. This is the we match everything. We do a special correction with I don't remember the name of the ladder. Yes, the color equality, and we got it. Then we can compare the first and the first shot to the last one. We are trying to get again this red, all the details, we get off all the textures of the costume, indeed the hair too. You can see it there, but also the lights, you can give it a little bright to make the expression more strength. And we create all the environment to look like it's a person, a character of science fiction. We also have, it's also in a convention. This is a character that Crystal from Inhumans that can manipulate the elements like fire or water. I wanted to make this shot playing with fire, for example, and we find this light on the floor, so this is my chance. And as we said, we use it for making the reflection of fire we use later, especially for the face, for the arm, for the chest. And the dark part of the picture for water, we don't need any kind of light for water, so make the composition with the main point on the light. Then you can do whatever you want, but this part you have already made. This is at home also, and we want to make a tribute to an old Supergirl picture sitting on a meteorite. So we had to think a lot on it because Starfire also has the fire on the hair. So we had to have very strong light, in orange from this side, but also good lining from the down part of the photo to recreate this fire and all the meteorite texture. It was hard because it was a mixing of lights at the same time, and normally we took around 20 or 30 shots to get one that is really useful, because we had to test and make many testing of it. this is outside. This is a shot near a museum. And this Tracer girl wanted to make a movement like Tracer make on Overwatch. So we want to make that effect of falling and use a diagonal wall, of course, the heroes of the supports that help for it. And from another shot we take of her without the glasses, we recover the eyes. We want this angle, this expression, so you have to take 2 photos, one with the glasses, another one without, to get it later in the photo manipulation. And then this is a very artificial background, so we get absolutely neutral one, so we can play and we can put the lights whenever and wherever we want. Also in a convention, it's only examples you can make by yourself, wherever, only looking for a good place inside a convention, so be brave and try, because you can have very good results. So we only want the light of lightsabers reflected on them, so we try to get in from the original photo, and it's done. Also a neutral background, and make everything above and after this. And well, that's all this our photography page. If you ever have any if you are in the middle of a Photoshop manipulating something and start crying and your life sucks and you don't know how to continue, just write to us and we will try to help. If you have any question, it's the moment, almost for a photography technique issue or photo manipulation. And any question, suggestion, or story? Yes?
Can I ask? I don't know if I can use it on photos. If I want to make something shiny, I got a door brush and paint
Yes.
color. Make a drumming on other layer and put down visibility.
What?
Opacity.
Ah, yes.
Or it's better through the layers, the type of layers.
Well, you can mix both. For example, when he makes fashion shots, for example, with black background, he also use the flash, and the main field get the light. But I also create the light on the shot, and I also paint with a normal and blurry brush light spot on the corner the flash is, and they put it, for example, in soft lining. So the light spot we put on Photoshop get more integrated. So you can do both. You can use I prefer playing with the layers because you can see the change in a moment. You can put out, get it away. And if you like it, you can be there. Or right now I don't like, but maybe later if I this spot or this, I can get it again. And you always have the layer there. So of course, if you are working with 80 layers, it's a problem. Try to name them if you are playing with many kinds of effects, but use both, because they can give you, for example, for making a light, there's a space brushes, for example, that can give you sparks. That if you put white spot of light and then another of blue in a screen, with those effects of galaxy, you can get sparks from the light you already put in the screen, but adding more effects also in the screen or on soft light. It depends what you are looking for. So try and be brave. Just everybody learn just trying. Another question? For ashes, for example, to make ashes flying on the sky, use
burning ashes.
Yes, burning ashes or gray ashes. It depends of what you're looking for. Ashes. You can use star photos from the NASA. You get a photography of the sky, then put it also in a screen with a movement, with a blur of movement for one side you are looking for the movement is going, and then give it all red colors. Then that starts getting points of light that looks like burning ashes, for example. And it's only photo of the sky. These are for making textures. If you have the texture at home, take a photo by yourself, different linings, just to apply on the photo. Every time you can get a stock by yourself and making a different archive for them, get it, because you know what you got and how you want to apply inside the photo. Something more? Thank you.
Any question more?
Are there any questions, suggestions, something?
I was wondering when you mentioned these two photos which we were making tips, this half which was made outside. Why is it important to have the texture? Is it not easier to put background as a whole?
No, but I prefer getting the final texture on the feet, because if you only if you make a complete manipulation, you also have to be very careful with the shadows of the feet to make it real. If you already have the texture on the floor, for example, these were grass, stones, and you don't have to touch it. The shadows and everything to make it real, it's already there. So you only have to color it and it's done. Here we have to paint all the shadows as something new because it was dark. So we made all the photo manipulation and then added the shadows. And maybe sometimes if it's a big figure like this, it doesn't matter because it looks more or less real. But you are wearing heels or something that very specific points of shadow, make it real, it's a little difficult. So if you already get it, you don't have to work on it. Something more?
So thank you very much for being here and listening to us. And well, in our socials, we are always pleased to answer for any question that you have. Really.
Yeah, any kind of effects or whatever you need, we will answer when we have battery. It's our normal problem. So thank you so much,
so much,
and enjoy the convention.